Welcome to the Old Time Radio Westerns. I'm your host, Andrew Rines, and I'm excited to bring you another episode absolutely free. This is one of over 80 episodes released monthly for your enjoyment. Now, let's get into this episode.
With the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. The gold rush of '49 brought the first great influx of settlers into the western United States. And for many years afterward, gold was the one thought in the minds of the emigrants. The rich soil and grazing land meant nothing to them. But the masked rider of the plains was able to vision the future of the new country more clearly. It was he who persuaded the men who came as prospectors to remain as farmers and cattlemen. It was he more than any other man who made possible the winning of the West. Returning with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! We've got to hurry! Travel free on the trail ahead! On, Silver! Away!
High on a hilltop, the Lone Ranger and Tonto had reined in their great stallions. Below them stretched the valley, a wide green plain, cut by a river that sparkled under the summer sun.
Look, Kemosabe, you could search from one end of the west to the other and never find better soil than you'll find right there. One day all those miles will be divided into farms.
There, fellow, already.
Those cabins below us? Tonto, the people in those cabins are perfect examples of the men and women who seek wealth everywhere except where it exists, right at their feet.
What do you mean?
Inquired about them back at Mayville. They're farmers and their families from the east and the Middle West.
Oh.
But it wasn't the opportunity to get cheap land that brought them here. They came only for gold.
That's bad.
They took out homesteads there in the valley because it gave them easy access to water. They filed on the homesteads themselves because they didn't want others to come along later and claim that site. But it's not the valley they're interested in. It's those hills to the west. They've been prospecting those hills for months, even the women. At least those who haven't children too young to be left alone. If they locate gold, it'll be a miracle. The mere willingness to search for it isn't enough. You need experience and the proper equipment. They might stumble over a dozen rich veins and never recognize them.
Not right.
Well, all the time, if they'd only realize it, they'd make themselves prosperous just by farming the land they'd already held title to.
Them heap big fool.
They're very human, Kemosabe. It's always the other man's game that seems to promise wealth, never your own.
Injuns say, "Our tribe own best pony."
Exactly. Well, Tonto, we'd better be riding on. But we're coming back this way in a few weeks.
Why do that?
Sooner or later, they're going to awaken to the fact that gold isn't as plentiful and as easily found as they were led to believe. When that happens, they'll face a choice. They turn to their old homes or live here on different terms.
You think them leave?
I think they will. But if they'd remain, they'd give the West what it needs most of all. Honest, hard-working citizens, building a prosperous community.
That'd be good thing.
And if we must, Tonto, we'll do all that we can to bring it about. Come.
Get him up, Scout. Ho, Silver,
Weeks passed, and as the Lone Ranger had prophesied, the men and the women in the valley failed in their search for gold. There was a discouraged group that gathered in Zeke Carter's cabin one night. Besides Zeke himself, there were his wife Martha and a younger couple. Cal and Laura Munson, their nearest neighbors. 2 others were present, men who did not belong to the little community. The elder was known as Spade Wiley, and his companion simply as Jake. Gold was the one topic of conversation, until Zeke put a stop to it.
No, folks, it ain't no use. It was just a pack of fools to come here. Where gold's been found, it's all took up. And that it ain't been, it'll take smarter folks than us to locate. Martha and me have just about decided to head back home.
Have you, Martha? I think so, Laura. Don't know what else to do. What are you and Cal planning on?
Ain't exactly made up our minds yet, ma'am. Ain't still hoping to find gold, are you, Cal? No, wouldn't say that, Zeke. But I've been wondering if maybe it wouldn't be the wise thing to do to stay on even without the gold. Yeah? Why? Tell them about the taters you planted, Laura. Taters?
Oh, I didn't plant many. Just enough to do us. Cal and my family don't think it's a meal unless there's taters on the table, you know. So I thought I'd just see how they do. What happened? Oh, my. When I dug them up, I could scarcely believe my eyes. Twice as big as they ever grew back home. And teeth? Well, you never had anything half so good in all your born days. It's a lie.
What do you think of that, Zeke? What do I think? Well, I'll ask you just one thing. What good's raising taters or anything else when there's no place to sell them? Yeah. Didn't think of that. Then you'd better. Farming's no good unless you've got a market. What do you say, Spade? You never farmed, I reckon, but I guess you'd agree with me there. Right you are, Zeke. I don't want to discourage you folks none, but if me and Jake was in your fix, I reckon we'd hustle to where we'd come from. Yes, sirree. You fellas was just about raised in the West, wasn't you? Sure was. Well, don't you think someday farming would pay a fella? Don't you think this country's going to build up till there's folks enough to buy what you raise? Not a chance. Mister, if you wait for that to happen, you go loco first. But, Jake, I was... Nope, I've been here quite a spell. In all them years, the number of folks living out west ain't even doubled yet. Fact is, when the gold's all been dug up and the last of the buffalo killed and the beaver gone, I'm willing to bet no whites will stay on. They'll let the Indians take over again. This will just be a kind of a desert.
Oh, that's awful.
Sounds like sense to me, though. Thanks. And thanks for helping us try to find gold. Oh, that's all right. Me and Jake was glad to do it. Always like to help out folks that don't know the ropes. We're just sorry we couldn't help you make a killing. Well, just the same, it was mighty decent of you fellas.
They're not strangers to you.
Oh, shucks, ma'am. Forget it. Well, Zeke, you really think you're post-stakes, huh? Guess so. How about the other folks? Well, I reckon we'll all do the same. I ain't heard nobody but Cal here mention they wanted to stay on. I just thought... Oh, sure, Cal, sure, I know. You just didn't think things all the way out. You should have been sorry if you'd stayed.
Well, Laura, then that means you'll go when we do.
Yeah, reckon so.
Well, that'll be fine. Of course, Sammy can get the schooling back east, but he can't get here.
Laura, you'll find you'll be better off in every way. I say we ought to get ready to travel as soon as we can. I'll talk to the others. That'll be a sorry day for us, folks. Jason and me have enjoyed knowing you. Be lonesome when you're gone. I reckon we'll head over Texas way. Well, Spade, let's be getting back to camp, huh? Yeah, we are.
Pa! Hey, Pa! Guess what I just seen?
Well, minds and manners.
Gee, Ma, if you'd have seen him like I done, you'd be excited, too.
What'd you see, lad?
2 real outlaws. I know they was outlaws. The one was a redskin, but the other was masked. It covered his face like this. See, Ma? Just like this. Outlaws.
Well, I reckon that settles it. When outlaws start to come, I say it's time for us to go. All right. Well, we'll be moseying along, folks. Bye. We'll be seeing you again before you leave. Goodbye, Steve. Goodbye. So they're leaving. And they thanked us for taking them where we knew doggone well they weren't gold. When are we heading for Texas, Spade? Texas? Who said anything about going there? Get up there, boy. Get up.
It was the next day that the Lone Ranger rode into the secret camp he shared with Tonto.
Oh, there, Silver. No more.
Tonto, it's lucky we did return.
Trouble?
Not trouble in the ordinary way, Tonto, but those homesteaders are doing what I predicted they would.
We're making ready to return to the east.
How you know?
I met a trapper who left the hills for Mayville. He stopped overnight with him. He told me the whole thing.
Oh.
I can understand the disappointment of not finding gold. I can understand why they might wish to return to their old homes. But there's one thing I can't understand.
What that?
Why two fellows called Spade, Wiley, and Jake are so interested in their departure.
Me no savvy.
And what that trapper gathered, it seems that Spade and Jake have been spending quite a bit of time with those homesteaders.
Oh.
They've gone with the men to the hills and have acted as guides without pay.
Oh.
It could be, of course, they were simply being generous enough to help those people.
Maybe.
But they represented themselves as men experienced in prospecting. That trapper says he saw a sign that showed they'd taken those homesteaders into a section where any prospector would know gold couldn't be found.
That heaps strange.
He didn't mention it to the homesteaders themselves because he could see they thought a great deal of Spade and Jake. They decided it was none of his business. Well, maybe it wasn't. But we're going to make it ours.
What we do?
First, we'll call on Zeke Cutter. He's as near to being the leader of those homesteaders as anyone.
Right now?
Not now, but the minute it gets dark.
That evening, Zeke and his wife had just seated themselves for their evening meal, and the door of their cabin burst open.
What the? Hey, Button. I'll remain outside and watch the horses.
The outlaws standing so.
You get out.
Sit down.
But I'm not going
You're
to...
likely to be tempted to reach for that rifle.
What do you want? If it's cash...
I want nothing.
But then what do you...
to talk with you.
Huh? A talk with me? Stranger, I don't waste words with crooks. You get out of my house.
Please, no, Zeke. You're getting mad and you'll do something terrible.
Neither of you will be harmed, Mrs. Cutter. You have my word to that. Zeke, you might as well make up your mind to talk willingly, because I'm not leaving until you do.
What do you want out of me?
One good reason why you and your neighbors should pack up and return to the east.
Huh?
You're right in the center of as fine a country as you'll ever see. When you homesteaded here, you took title to soil that had never been plowed. Soil that'll grow anything.
We didn't come out here to farm.
I know that.
We came for gold, and there's none to be had. So we're headed back where we come from.
To return to farms that were worked out years ago. To return to a crowded territory where you'll pay good money for land not worth a fraction of this, which you can have for nothing.
What if we can? What good's it to us? Like I told my neighbor yesterday. You can't farm and make money without no market.
And what do you want money for?
That's a fool question to ask.
Is it? You can raise all the food you need. There's plenty of wood for fuel. As for clothing, if you can't make yourself, you can get by bartering. Any storekeeper would be glad to trade his wares for the things you could raise. Even so, it won't always be like that. One day there'll be 100 men and women in this district for everyone who's here now. You have a market. You have as good a market as a man could want.
Bosh. I've been told different by fellows that know a heap more about it than you do, I bet you.
Yes?
And they say folks are leaving, not coming. It's getting worse, not better.
Who told you that?
Oh, you wouldn't know them.
I ask you a question.
Answer him, Zeke.
Well, if you have to know, two fellows that was raised in the West. Spade Wiley and his partner Jake.
Oh, sure.
Know them?
No, but I've heard of them.
Well, if you have, you ought to know they ain't fools. Not by a long ways they ain't. And between them and you, I kind of think I'd rather take their words.
I see. And you're still determined to leave?
I don't know your game, stranger, but whatever it is, it won't work. We're going back east.
You say you are.
What's that?
But I doubt that you will. Let's go, Tonto. Yep.
What's in Spade?
He and the others are going.
Oh.
And there's just one way we can stop them.
How that?
By learning why Jake and Spade want them to leave.
Hi-yo! Get him up,
Now to continue our story. After leaving Zeke Cotter's cabin, the Lone Ranger and Tonto did not return to camp. They traveled west for 2 miles, and then suddenly the masked man pointed ahead.
A campfire, Kimosabe.
Hold up! Hold it!
That's Jake and Spade. That's their camp. You know, I think we'll do a little investigating.
What you mean?
There's an arroyo heading in a general direction somewhere off to the left here.
Me no place.
For the night in that arroyo, we'll have cover enough to approach them without being seen. Maybe if we can hear them talk when they believe no one's around, we'll find out what we have to know.
That's good idea.
And let's head for that arroyo. Easy, Tonto. We can't risk being heard.
Get him up, Scout.
Come on, old fellow.
The Lone Ranger and Tonto silently approached Jake and Spade's campfire. They listened to their conversation for the better part of an hour, then strolled back to their horses and returned to camp. During the next few days, the homesteaders devoted all their time to making ready for the journey east. Goods were packed, wagons repaired, and supplies gathered and loaded. Finally, all was in readiness, and early one bright morning, the homesteaders gathered for the start. Zeke, standing beside his wagon, caught sight of Jake and Spade and hailed the two men.
There they are, Marty. Hey, Spade! Zeke!
Hi there, Zeke.
Come here. Well, see you got your bedroll strapped to your saddle. Steady, boy. You fellas pulling out right away. Just as soon as we've seen you folks off, Zeke. Howdy, ma'am.
Good morning.
Happy to get started, are you, ma'am?
Oh, my, yes. I'll be so glad when we're on the way. This getting ready has been terrible wearing.
I reckon it has, ma'am. Well, Zeke, comes kind of hard saying goodbye. If you heading east and us leaving right away for Texas, I don't suppose we'll ever meet up again. No, don't reckon we will.
But if you're ever near Zanesville, you'll just have to let us know.
That's your home? Well, that's where we used to live. I reckon that's where we'll end up. Don't want to rush you, Zeke, but I think your friends are ready and waiting on you. Huh? Well, so they are. All set, folks? Well, we're going right now. When I start up, you folks pull in behind and follow. Here, Marty, I'll help you up. Hand me the whip, honey.
Yes, we are.
Thanks. Well, Spade, here's where we have to say goodbye. Hope to meet somewhere else sometime. That goes for you, too, Jake. Bye, folks. Bye. Get up there. Goodbye. Get up there. Goodbye. Well, Spade, rid of them at last.
Yeah.
Now what?
Wiggle her out of sight, then get rid of that bedroll and ride for the boys.
Uh-huh.
Tell them it's safe to show themselves. And homesteaders have left, and we're taking over.
Right.
Fellow, what is it? Oh, Charles, oh, fellow. Oh. Fellas, leave.
The homesteaders? What about Jake and Spade? What are they doing?
Jake ride, other fellows stay.
Good.
What you do now?
What we heard this fellow say the other night, Tonto, their friends must be a good distance from here.
Not right.
Well, we'll give them the chance to get to the valley and make themselves at home. Then we'll stop the homesteaders.
Not good.
They're going back to the valley. When they get there, Tonto, things will start happening.
All that day, the homesteaders headed eastward, making camp just before nightfall. They resumed their journey early the next morning, with Zeke Trotter's wagon still in the lead.
Get up there, you critter. Get up. Get along with you. Well, Martha?
I'm all right.
You ain't said much this morning. What's ailing you? Anything?
Oh, Zeke, I don't know.
Stomachache?
Silly. I think that.
But there is something, huh? Well, I'm with it. Maybe it could be you.
Yeah. Something kind of foolish, Zeke. You just laugh at me.
Laugh at you? Well, I will not.
Well, sure.
Cross my heart, I won't. Honey, what is it?
I'm kind of homesick.
Homesick? Well, if that don't beat all.
There, I knew you'd laugh.
But gosh, Martin, we're heading home. What more can you ask for? Didn't figure we'd be there the minute we decided to start, did you?
I didn't mean Zanesville.
Huh?
I meant I'm homesick for the valley.
That we just left?
Oh, I know it's silly of me.
Well, why in Tunket didn't you say so before?
But you were so anxious to leave.
I don't see where we had much choice. But I thought from the way you talked that you couldn't stand it there any longer.
It was kind of pretty.
Wasn't it?
With the creeks and all them trees running up to the hills and the flowers and the good way the air smelled.
Uh-huh. In the prime hunting. No neighbors crowding you too close and... Hey, what's the matter with me? Sound like I was raised there, don't I? Martha, you and me better forget all that. It ain't where we'd like to be that counts. It's where we can make the right kind of living.
Yeah, I suppose.
We'll go on. What the... You hear anything, honey? Well, there it is again. Where do you... Hey, look! There's a fellow that yelled it. See him on his white horse? And there's a pink. That's a redskin riding it. My stars, Marty. That's the masked man and that ancient heart of his.
Yeah.
Hold on, please. Line up.
A hold up. Get up there. Get up there. It's a hold up. Get up there.
Come on. Please, line in.
Not for you, mister. Get there. Come on. Get it all
Come
up
on,
there.
Silver. Post roll, fellow. Post it on.
Hey, watch out. You let go of that bridle. Let go, doggone you. Let go of that bridle.
Pull back, boy. Back, Silver. Pull him down. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That's middle. Oh, boy. Pull back. Pull him back, boy.
You out.
Oh, you don't.
Hey, don't let me down.
With you. Here. Steady, old fellow. Stand back. Keep back. I've got Zeke here, so keep your guns in your holsters.
Don't shoot, fellas. Don't shoot. Ranger, what is this anyhow? What are you after?
All of you are turning your wagons around and heading back for the valley.
Oh, no, we're not.
Very well. Callow and I are riding there, and you don't get Zeke back until you join us.
Hey, no, wait.
Well,
You ain't going to harm him, are you? You won't shoot him or anything, will you?
I won't harm him, and this isn't a holdup. I want you to go back to the valley, nothing more. Zeke stays with me until you do.
You'll have to go back. You'll have to. What do you say, folks? That looks like your answer, mister. We go back to the valley.
Good. Turn your wagons around and follow me. Come on, Silver. Come on.
All right, we almost there.
Pretty close, son. Another hour, maybe.
Well, where do you suppose that masked man done in this time? Where do you think he's been?
Lord, you sure got me there.
But
All I can say is I've been watching them riding up ahead of us. The masked fella and Zeke have been doing a heap of talking. Don't look to me as if Zeke was half as mad about the whole thing as he was at first.
Why, no, it don't, does it?
There's no use our guessing. I reckon when we get there, we'll find out all there is to find out. Get up! Get on! Get up there!
In the meantime, Jake had ridden to the hills. He returned hours later with a gang of a dozen men, a bearded, hard-faced lot that quickly made themselves at home in the cabin Zeke Cotter had vacated. They spent the night drinking and gambling, slept late the next day, and when they were finally awake and dressed again, became surly and quarrelsome.
Doggone! Who emptied this here jug? Ain't a drop left in it.
I emptied it yourself, only you was too hard on to recollect it.
You're lying.
Why, bless your rotten hide, I'll take you and bust you and...
You will not.
Cut it out, you two. Jake, you ought to have more sense. Well, anybody start a fight, and I'll take him on myself. I heard what he said. There'll be no more of that talk. If we're fighting among ourselves, it'll spoil everything we work for.
How can it be spoiled? Them homesteaders cleared out, didn't they?
You and Jake fight. And suppose one of you gets rich and runs to them homesteaders to tell them why we want it out of here. Then what'd we do? Why did anybody do that? Maybe to get even. Who knows what a bunch of soreheads will do. Anyhow, we got work to attend to. No patient notices to put up. Tear down the ones you find, and each one of you choose your own homestead. Drive the stakes and get all set. What for? We can't file on them yet. Them farmers ain't been gone long enough. Won't hurt to get that much out of the way, will it? Show anybody coming along that we've got first claim. But caution. Wait, what do you mean? Outside, look outside there. Well, I'll be... They came back. Out of my way. And here brought them back. There's a masked man with them.
I thought you and your partner were heading for Texas, Spade.
What's it to you, mister?
It ain't nothing to him, but it's plenty to me. You lied to me. You waited till we were gone, then called in your crooked friends and planned to take our homes.
You gave them up.
They still have the right to take them back.
Yeah, they will. Get out of this cabin. Take your friends and vamoose. For a bunch of yellow farmers?
Thought when you heard the railroad planned to go further west by way of this valley that you'd get these people to leave, didn't you, Spade?
How did you know that?
You and Jake talked too much one night when you thought you were alone. You deliberately discouraged these people, urged them to leave, and came here to help yourselves. Now get out.
There ain't enough of you to make it. No? You hear that, men? Come on, at 'em, fellas, at 'em. Fellas, give these farmers what for. Come on. Let's be through.
As for the Lone Ranger, Tonto, and Zeke, the farmers closed in on Spade's gang. Chairs were smashed, bottles thrown, no quarter was asked, no quarter was given. Page, fighting desperately against the masked man, was the first of the outlaws to cry for mercy.
Let me go, masked man. I give up. I'll kill out. Let me go.
Hello, you.
On your way, all of you. Go on, get going. Travel. If there's no one of you skunks around here after the next minute, we'll start again where we left off.
Well, Zeke, you've taught those fellas a lesson they'll remember. I don't think they'll make any more trouble for you.
Gosh, stranger. How you walk them fellas. It was fighting them two at a time.
Yeah, I seen him. Hey, look at them crooks whip up their horses. They can't get away from here fast enough.
I should have known earlier, Zeke, that the railroad would be coming through this valley. It's the only logical route it can follow.
We can sell it the land it needs for good cash and still have plenty left for ourselves.
Right.
Listen to me, folks. I want to say that now we've got the best reason of all for calling this valley our home.
A railroad, huh?
Nope. Ain't a railroad, and it ain't cause this part of the country is going to build up.
What is it?
Folks, we fought for this land. And I'm here to say it takes fighting for something to really make it yours.
The story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.
This has been a presentation of OTRWesterns.com, and we hope you enjoyed. Please take some time to like and rate this episode within your favorite podcast application. Follow us on Facebook by going to OTRWesterns.com/Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to OTRWesterns.com/YouTube. Become one of our ranch hands and unlock some exclusive content. We want to thank the following ranch hand, Steve, who joined us recently. You too can join by going to OTRWesterns.com/donate. Send us an email, podcast@OTRWesterns.com, and you can call and leave us a voicemail, 707-986-8739. This episode is copyright under the attribution, non-commercial, share-alike copyright. For more information, go to OTRWesterns.com/copyright. Have a great day, and thanks for listening.